Hello everybody, it's Dusty Sage and I'm here at the spookiest place on earth, Disneyland. But I'm obviously not in the parks right now. I'm in downtown Disney. I'm going to take you and show you some construction. But first, I have a fabulous surprise. I'm going to turn the phone around so that you can see who I've got to show you. Right over here.
What?
Oh my God, these two crazy queens.
How dare you?
Eddie
Well, it's
Shapiro
crazy.
and Jeffrey Epstein with Days Anaheim. What do you call it these days?
Days Anaheim.
Well, there you go.
That's what we call it for 25 years.
25 years of magic.
25th
25 years of magic.
I was just interviewed, and somebody talked about the fact that they were talking about Disney's 100 years, and it suddenly gave me pause to think 25 years of Gay Days. We're a quarter of the 100 years. That's crazy talk.
You are a quarter of a century years
well,
old.
the event is a quarter of a century. Eddie's the full century.
That
That's true
just means
story.
I'm experienced.
And the little center inside the Grand is open now.
The Welcome Center for Gay Days opened at noon today and is open all weekend long, where you too can buy this fabulous t-shirt or the pin. But also we have a schedule of events all weekend long available at gaydaysanaheiminfo.com, and there are in-park events like the Lesbian Ice Cream Social or the Family Luncheon at the Plaza Inn, or there are the shows that include drag queens like Gigi Good and Simone. There's a pool party. There's so much stuff.
Well, there's the group photo.
The group photo at the castle.
At the castle.
Is
Always
always
the biggest
epic.
photo of the year, right?
Did you just call me fat? I think you just called me fat. It is.
There's
yes.
no shame.
It is a
You
massive.
are what you are. I embrace it. I embrace everybody for who they are.
Thank you. So far, in the 12 seconds that we've been on air, I've been called old, I've been called fat, and gay. I think we've covered it.
Call my lawyer.
Well, and also,
Look at
Disney,
that.
of course, turns it out this year, as they do every year. There's all sorts of amazing goodies and treats to be found within the park.
Just for this weekend. There's this cookie. Oh!
He's eating something. I've never seen him actually eat.
I have.
Oh my gosh.
And I've watched him puke it up. But there's the rainbow cake, which is every year, and there's a stainless steel tumbler that's out for Gay Days. There's stuff that's
In the
only out
park,
this weekend
yeah.
in the park. That's only out for this weekend.
So if folks want to swing by the center in the Grand, they
Yep.
don't need a ticket.
They don't
Anybody
need a
can come
ticket.
by and check it out. There's all sorts of vendors in there and
Yeah,
things
and
to
free
see.
stuff. Really fun, free stuff. There's
stuff.
also, if you're in the vicinity right now, there's a free cocktail party that is happening at the Grand Californian Hotel
In the big
Breezy
courtyard that the Monorail
for the next
goes
couple of
over.
hours. That's just a mix and mingle.
Yep.
Totally
it looks
free.
like there's a wedding going on. There isn't. It's just Gay Days, and all are welcome to
And by the way,
stop by.
that cookie is available there. Not a whole one, not
A
one that
second
Jeffrey's
bite.
eaten an ear off of, but that's available for free at that party right now.
That's
if you
awesome.
wanted to buy there.
Excellent. Well, thank you, boys.
Oh, please.
I'm going to
Thank
swing
you.
by after my video and say hi, howdy, hey.
You're going to swing by for a cookie. Tell the truth.
That's right.
Okay.
That's it. But wait, Todd, Dusty, I need to know. Disney just announced a $60 billion investment within the parks. What are you looking forward to?
Gold toilets in every bathroom. Solid gold toilets.
Really? That's where you want them to spend the money?
No, I mean, what I want, Disneyland gets its third park that they're working on, a new Tomorrowland, right?
Okay.
And maybe a nice little expansion for California Adventure so that it can hold its own against Disneyland. That's what I want. What do you want?
What do I want? I would love to see what they do with some of the newer IP. They talked about it a little bit this week at Disney World. Moana, Encanto, Coco. I feel like we have yet to see the breadth of imagination and creativity that Imagineering can come up with.
Yeah.
And
Arendelle, right? Like if they built an Arendelle in the third park, it would be packed every day.
Yeah, I've got one that will impact every day. I would love to see them, and this is going to be it's a little woke, folks, but I would love to see them invest more in their cast members. Because what we are suffering right now, for those of us who come here all the time, is cast members who are disgruntled, who are unhappy in their work, and that spills out into the entire park experience.
It does.
And if the security personnel alone could be made to feel more appreciated, that could make all of our experience
We
a lot
just
more
wrote
magical.
about that on Monday, about how security has been, they're understaffed.
Yeah.
And the guests have to wait in line, and when the line is long, guests are rude, and when guests are rude, security gets rude.
Right.
And then they
Right.
stay rude all day.
Right.
And nobody wants that to be your first experience with Disneyland, is going through security and having a grumpy cast member.
And since Disney World has invested in a security system where we don't have to go through every single glasses, case, and bag, so that you don't feel like you're going through the TSA when you're walking into the happiest place on earth, maybe a little capital investment
So
in
I'm
security.
going to set aside a little of that $60 billion to improve the security situation for you.
There will
How
be
does that
gold
sound?
toilets and better security.
Gold toilets, better security.
and appreciated staff.
And more pumpkins. Can I just say, we need more pumpkins, pumpkin.
You are gorgeous.
Oh, these
Sorry.
are so terrible. I'm
Too
taking
easy.
this mic back because this has to stop now. Thank you, boys. Good luck with the big event. I will see you this weekend, I am sure. It's all about love, folks.
It's all about love.
And cookies.
And cookies.
Bye-bye. So, off we go on our journey. Catal continues to transform into Paseo and Centrico. This is Chef Carlos Gaitan right here. Chef Carlos. He's not really going to be running the restaurant. He is coming up with the menu. Patina Group will continue to run it, just like they did before when it was Catal and Uva Bar. You'll notice throughout downtown Disney, there are pumpkins everywhere. So up on the tower up there are pumpkins. On the tower over there are pumpkins. There are pumpkins in all of the gardens. There's Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit going on right now, and some of the pumpkins in downtown Disney look like characters. So your goal is to look at all these pumpkins everywhere and find the ones that look a little bit off, they look a little different, and some of those are for Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit. If you get them all, you get a special prize. Of course, you have to pay to do the event. I'm stopping here for just a second. We're going to look up because you can see, zoom in on this. Here's the big tower above Disney Home, and you'll see the windows are open on the upstairs. That is because the new restaurant is taking over that whole patio all the way into the space that used to be the atrium of the home store. So home store now has a ceiling. That upstairs space, it goes all the way across the front. Here you see more windows up there that also telescope open or accordion style open. So they're taking over that whole upstairs balcony all the way over to here. That is a huge amount of space. Andre's asking how long the hunt lasts. It runs through Halloween. This is not one of the pumpkins you're searching for, but it is a pumpkin you can put your head through and take a picture. A lot of neat stuff right now. They're focusing on villains here at Wonderground because it's Halloween, folks. Today is the first day of fall. It happens, I guess, at 11 p.m. tonight or sometime around there. And I'd like to point something out. The Beignets Express, which is a terrible name, but has very good beignets. They have special beignets every month. And generally, by the time you leave the park at the end of the day, there's a line that just snakes through this whole area. But since it's sort of midday right now, the line is super short. So if you can make it here before 5 p.m., it's a great time to come and get a beignet. Of course, there are delicious beignets, 2 different kinds now in New Orleans Square at Disneyland. They have the fancy icebox lemon beignets inside of Tiana's Palace. And then just outside at the Mint Julep Bar, they have the traditional beignets. Hearing more and more that Tortilla Joe's definitely going away once they open the new Paseo and Centrico. Patina will probably continue operating. I'm going to try to get us into the monorail there, folks. We'll see if I can make it there in time. Lots of changes coming up. Later this week, the new tower at the Disneyland Hotel opens. I will be there on opening night. I got a room. So I'll be doing some lives there at the hotel to show you all everything that's going on. construction here on the west end of downtown Disney is really coming along now. That's the new dim sum place on the far end there, Din Tai Fung. There's a stage that they're building, and then this whole building is huge. Check the Monday update. I've got all the info for you on that. The slow process at every ticket booth everywhere at the resort is everybody needs to have their photo taken. Really think with modern technology, they're making everyone use their phones everywhere anyway. They should probably just have people take their photo using a selfie camera. Thank you, my dear. I think we're going to get lucky here. If not, I'm going to exit and walk us back. Look at me move. Oh, they still haven't loaded. Or maybe they have, and there's just no room for us. We'll find out. This is Monorail Beautiful, I like to call it. The iridescent monorail, Monorail Blue. And then we see a lot of Monorail Orange lately, but one thing we do not see is Monorail Red. I haven't seen Monorail Red in a long time. I do wonder if they're just using it for parts or they can't find parts. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. Andrew Kim wanted to know what's going into Tortilla Joe's. That's the big question. We don't know. They haven't made any announcements. The staff members there do not know. They have no clue. But all of them are talking about how they do expect to find out their restaurant is closing any time now. Luckily, I'm just me. I don't need a big party, so hopefully I can squeeze in. It's a long line of people waiting to get on one monorail that still has a lot of people in it. Sometimes they make everyone go all the way down to the front and back, and sometimes they pop open the gates in the middle. You never know what's the best strategy when you get to the monorail station. Please don't close the gate. They're closing the gate. There's so many spots in the back. Let's see what happens. Look how close I am to the front post. Nope. But don't worry, I'm not going to make you all wait for another monorail. We'll head back down into downtown Disney because there's a lot to still see out there. I'm one. Just me, one. Let's see. Room for one? No? All right. That's a bummer. We got almost to the very front there, but I'm not making you all wait. Hello, how are you?
Remember me ages ago, twin mom?
Yes.
DMCA.
Yes, of course. How are you? Hello, guys. You're live, so say hi to everybody.
Your live streams have gotten me so excited for our trip.
Oh,
She
good.
watches it while she makes dinner.
You watch the live streams while you make dinner. Somebody just told me that they watch the live streams while they shop at Costco, and that is why the baskets are always hitting you in your ankles. So good to see you. You are day 5 of 5. How many more days to go?
This is day 5
Of 5, so you're done.
Yes, we're almost done.
All right, you're going to see the fireworks tonight?
Yes.
All right. Enjoy the last little bit of your trip. So nice to see you. And the beautiful monorail is pulling out of the station. We got so close, but there is much journeying left to do. Can I go this way or? Yeah.
Alright, once again, let's be used to it.
So they waited until the monorail left, and then they told all those people at the station that they're only running one monorail, which means about a 20-minute wait. I should. So as long as we're here, let's take a closer look, shall we? Isn't that funny, Trina? But I do these at 5 o'clock, and in certain parts of the country, that's, 9 o'clock, or somewhere in between, depending on where you are. It's one of the reasons we picked 5. Is in California, people get off work, usually at 5, so more people can watch. The rest of the country, it's not too late before folks go to bed. Some people say it's the last thing they do before they go to bed. So you see that they're getting ready to put roofing on top of this stage. There's sort of a matching stage on the far end of the plaza on the other side of this wall. And then this building is a lot bigger than it looks. We're seeing the end of the building. It runs all the way down towards the new Pixar Place Hotel. Let's see right there real quick. So it's going to be a large area back there. It's really kind of an expansion for downtown Disney. Mirabel from Encanto. For Hispanic and Latin American month. Kind of started in the middle of the month. It's pretty, what do they call them, sietas? I'm not taking you over to the hotel because I don't want to go through security. But there's a lot of freshening up that needs to happen in downtown Disney, and one of Disney's big things they're doing to everyone when their leases expire is, in order to renew their lease, they have to commit to sort of rebuilding and refreshing their locations. Lego store is starting to feel a little bit old. Some of the figures here are sort of bleached out, have been here since the beginning. Others have been refreshed and replaced, particularly the stuff that's outside. Inside, they used to have an upstairs, remember that? And then they finally did away with that. It's changed quite a bit over the years, but I do suspect that eventually that store will get redone, and I'd like to see Lego stay. It's very popular. But you never know. Disney wants them to pay a higher rent, and they want them to spend millions and millions of dollars on renovations. I am enjoying the gardens finally got planted. They didn't make it for that first weekend of Halloween time, but they did eventually get done. We're riding the waves of pumpkins right now, going from garden to garden. Let's see if we see any of those Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit pumpkins. You see one somewhere. Scream really loud. So they have kind of just signage up here right now for Halloween in downtown Disney, showing you what they've got at various restaurants. They have a pretty neat looking candy corn sundae or milkshake at Black Tap. Let's see if there's anything else. Kyla's Cakes has macarons that look like pumpkins and eyeballs. Some interesting stuff there. Beignets Express has churro flavored glazed beignets right now. I might have to get myself one of those. Guava mangonada at Wetzel's. Just a few interesting things. Many people have been asking and sending us questions about the alley. Is it a new restaurant? It is not a new restaurant. It's just additional seating space for Splitsville. They serve a limited version of their menu there. I'm feeling really bad for Pele and Love Pop back there. Their traffic has really suffered since these construction walls went up. I jokingly said in a recent update, I hope Disney is giving them a break on rent. One of the employees of one of those two stores said, of course they're not giving us a break on rent. But they did mention Love Pop and Pele on the construction wall, which people, you know, everybody reads the construction walls. We'll just take a quick peek into Marceline's confectionery. I think this is, along with the Lego store, the other thing that is most in need of refreshing. Marceline is an original opening tenant of Downtown Disney, has received no upgrades over the year other than they removed the canopy that used to be over the front because it got torn in a storm. They're making Mickey apples, or Minnie. Definitely minis. They've got little yellow bows there. I do love watching them make this stuff. Here's the mini witch apples they're making here. That was cute. Always have new stuff over at Salt and Straw. I'm a big fan. I don't do dairy. I try to avoid it as much as possible. But they have the most delicious dairy-free ice creams. Salt and Straw.
I literally can't fit anything else in.
They're now scooping a cheese and apple pie cinnamon roll flavor, chocolate plum and hazelnut shortbread, which is vegan, pumpkin spice tiramisu, Pinot poached pear sorbet, caramel apple sherbet. Oh my gosh. And then their regular flavors. Look at that, folks. Caramel apple sherbet. Do you say sherbet or sherbet? You never know what to say.
Go a little bit faster.
Nothing too much new over here. I love the music from the old Mickey Mouse shorts they're playing. There's one of the pumpkins. It's Moana, I believe. I'll show you in just a second. I'll turn around here. All right, let me zoom in on it. At first it looks like a minion with one eye, but I believe that is a necklace. And then that's the kind of the details on Moana's dress. Am I right? Is it Moana? Feels a little more crowded today than it did last Friday, but we'll see how it is in the park. I have not been in the parks yet. I walked through a little portion of Downtown Disney, but it's a tiny little portion. I haven't seen Disneyland at all. Tyler's cakes here. I really like their macarons. They even have a store nearby. But they're very expensive, and I don't know why all of a sudden macarons are being treated like they're made out of solid gold. I know they're labor intensive to make. When you make them in volume, it shouldn't be so difficult.
Just to like, shut up.
Walking fast so we can get you into the parks quickly. There's a lot to see. And we're going to skip California Adventure today. I'm just going to tell you as we're walking by it right now. The big deal was they finally opened the Avengers Campus store, and then they closed the one that was in that old soundstage in the Hollywood Pictures backlot. I have a whole video up about that from the day it opened. You can check out our YouTube channel and then click on live. It's youtube.com/micechat. Then click the little tab at the top for live, and you'll see the video of the new Adventures Campus store. It's a small store, so now the land has 2 small stores and a cart. And that's all the merchandise for the land because they just closed the sound stage. Now, why were they in such a hurry to close that sound stage? There's a lot of land on that side of the park for something new. They are working on something big for the Hollywood Pictures backlot. We just talked about the $60 billion that have finally informed investors that they intend to spend over the next 10 years in the Disney parks and resorts worldwide. It's more than just parks. That's also cruise ships and Disney Vacation Club, even things like communities, residential communities. They're building the first one right now near Palm Springs, Cotino. But soon, they're going to want to build more of those in other parts of the country, and they're not entirely cheap. They're not actually being built by Disney, they're being built by construction partners, but sort of licensed by Disney, and Disney's heavily involved in the design details and so forth. When they first started releasing concept art for Cotino, people screamed and yelled it didn't feel Disney enough, so they're rushing to add more Disney details to Cotino, and we can be pretty sure that the next projects they build will be a little more Disney from the get-go. And here we are at the front of the park. So we'll take a quick look at the front gate of DCA as we walk by. Oogie Boogie there in the front. Makes fun of people who are standing below. California Adventure is sort of the irreverent version of Halloween. A little scarier. And Disneyland is a little kookier. Not scary at all. Other than Haunted Mansion Holiday, which is less scary than normal Haunted Mansion, there's no scary at all. The regular rides are scarier. We are going to see one of our favorite cast members. Always happy, always smiley. We loves you.
I love you. I'm so happy you're here. Where's your crew, my friend?
I know I'm all alone today. It's just you and I, baby.
But I'm not in there.
Come with me.
I can't. I'm off at 6, and then I'm moving inside.
Oh my goodness.
But
Well, I'm
I will
sending
look
love.
to say hi again.
All right. So we're going to take a look at Mickey Mouse. Mickey does not have his Halloween face on this year. In recent years, he's had his bandit mask on, but this time he's just regular purple and white Mickey. Here come the train. Here come the train. There it is. Here you leave today and enter the world of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy. Fantasy and tomorrow, or a long, long time ago, depending on how you look at it. Just notice that these look like they're made out of leather, not plastic. Or maybe plastic that looks like leather. I don't know. Oh, it's so neat to be here when it's cloudy. So the thing about the first day of fall is today is the day, tomorrow, with even day and night. So day is the same length as night. I think that's right. Did I get that right? You can hear the Dapper Dans playing over there by the firehouse. We're not going to go over there. We've seen them recently. They've got the omnibus loading and unloading here because normally they would have to drive through where all those people are with the Dapper Dans. Long line of people here in the middle of Main Street. What are they waiting for? They all want a picture with their pumpkin. The Elvis pumpkin here is probably the neatest thing on the parade of pumpkins. Isn't he great? His big pompadour. And all these folks are waiting for the parade. Sadly, I'm going to be ending here soon. They're ending mid-next month. And then there'll be no parade here at Disneyland at all for about a month until the very Merry Christmas Parade, or whatever they call it, comes back. The ancient Christmas parade that never dies. Just look to see what the flowers are here on Center Street. They've got their fall colors out. For most of the summer they had rainbow of colors. Pumpkins in the store, a lot of Halloween merchandise, of course, where Disney makes their money, convincing you to buy many, many things. Buy all the things. And then Walt Disney's ghost doesn't have to be homeless. Since the Silhouette Studio reopened, it's had a consistent line of people waiting. Very, very good move for them to have the Silhouette shop. When we finally get our store next to the Haunted Mansion that's coming soon, we'll talk a little more about that when we get there. I do hope they do the ghost portraits, where they take your picture and then you come back later and pick up your portrait, and it's a lenticular that as you twist and turn it, turns you into a skeletal version of yourself. I got one of those when they opened their new Haunted Mansion shop in Florida, and every year I have to go find it because I put it away and then I can never find it again. It's one of my favorite Halloween decorations. The wait times in the park. Not the sun, but the moon. Here we go, 60-minute wait for Rise of the Resistance, 50 minutes for Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. Regular waits for everything else. Indiana Jones, 55-minute wait. Matterhorn, 45. That's a long wait. 35 minutes for Millennium Falcon's Smuggler's Run, and 25 minutes for Star Tours. The Adventures Continue. It's busier than normal on a Friday. Normally, you would expect waits like that during the week, maybe even longer. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday have been less. But as we get closer to Halloween, people are willing to pay more for those Friday, Saturday, Sunday tickets.
Green.
And we'll see all of this get busier. There's long lines for everything. Switchback lines set up here for the popcorn cart. That's always a choice. Which way do you go in when you come into the park? Do you go to Tomorrowland first, down Matterhorn Way, through the castle into Fantasyland? Do you go to Frontierland, or do you come here to Adventureland? When I was a kid, I always wanted to go to Tomorrowland first. As an adult, I usually end up going through Adventureland first, but the reason we're going through Adventureland today is this is where most of the construction is. So there's method to my madness. And oh, how mad I am. I'll tell you how mad I am. Last night, I was at the opening of Knott's Scary Farm's 50th anniversary, and it was spectacular, folks. Such a sense of nostalgia. They have 3 new mazes. 2 of them are all about their past mazes. So mazes that are long gone have made their return in a way inside of 2 of the mazes, and their new show in the Walter Knott Theater, where they used to do the Elvira show, is also an homage to all of the hosts of the past. See Seymour and Wolfman Jack and Elvira, in a sense. Very funny, very rude, very dirty. Definitely not for kids, but I loved it. I'm going to be going back. But I was up, all night working on the article that is now up on the front page of Mice Chat. So please take a look so you can see all the beautiful sights of Not Scary Farm 50th anniversary. And then this morning I had to get a newsletter out about all of our upcoming events. So this Saturday, tomorrow, we're doing a Mice Chat meetup at Not Scary Farm. If you'd like to join us, meet us near the patio for their Starbucks, near the exit of the park. In the marketplace there, they have a Starbucks, and you'll just see us just outside of the seating area for Starbucks. We don't want to take up their seating, but we'll be standing there near the railing for you can join us. We're not doing front of line, so just buy yourself a regular cheap ticket, and we'll go do all the new mazes and see a couple of the shows. We'll prioritize that. Oh, we have exciting news for you. But look, the water wheel is moving. We're going to zoom in. Hopefully it keeps moving when I zoom. Exciting. Oh, and it stopped, but at least you got to see it for a second there. The wheel is right down there, uncovered. It's a good sign. Screaming child. Just wanted everyone to enjoy what I'm enjoying. There we go. Yes, Treehouse is getting very close to opening. Most of the projects that we've been covering for the last many months are starting to wrap up. So Tiana's Palace is finally open. That store in Adventures Campus is now open. The new tower for the Disneyland Hotel will be open this coming week. And it looks like now the treehouse will be open soon. I'm going to get you a better view. I'm just going to walk up here. We're going to take a quick look. There is a little bit of a line for pirates, but not too bad. Going to the back of this line of people that was walking towards us. Didn't want to be rude and cut through. But you see the treehouse from here. It's all done for the most part. They do have one staircase that it looks like they're just finishing up installation on now. It's metal. It's right in the center there. And they will cover that up in what looks like wood, and you'll never know that it's metal. And then it'll be ready to open because the water wheel is in and working. That's neat. This will be the last video that I do in the park with this phone. Thanks to one of our kind viewers, I now have a new iPhone. When I'm done setting it up, we'll be using that on the videos, and hopefully it'll take slightly better video for you, better zooming. So you can see some switchbacking right here, and then the rest of those people that you see there are just stuck in traffic. There's a lot of strollers that are side by side and things like that. It just blocks up traffic. That's why I think we're going to see a change here. You see the switchback set up ahead. You see the switchback right here. All of this blocks up New Orleans Square. It kind of makes the experience not so great on a busy day. But once they open that new shop over by the Haunted Mansion, they're going to move most of the merch that's here in Port Royal over there by Haunted Mansion, which will leave this open. Now, if you look at it, we're going to walk the whole length of it. Here, start here. There's the Pirates of the Caribbean queue. It's at the same grade right here as this restaurant. So all of this space, this store right here, you can see how much space there is there, and it's covered. It can be themed out. And then there's a courtyard right back in here,
Put it over your shoulder.
where Jack and Sally are meeting with people. But all of this space could be used for a giant switchback line that could help get people out of New Orleans Square and off the bridge. And And that also solves the problem of having to cut off walkways because all of the queue for pirates would be on this side of pirates. So they'd be able to maximize the queuing, get rid of a little bit of store space, but they're building new store space, so they don't really lose a lot of store space. And they'd probably keep pieces of 8 here, their Pirates merch. And here's the exit Pirates, so it would make sense for the entrance, store, and exit to all be in line with each other.
Okay, so
We do think that's what's going to happen. The other option people have mentioned is maybe they add seating for the Red Bull shop that's right there, but we don't think they're going to do that.
Of course. This is nice to be Disneyland.
New Orleans Square is a maze of little streets and things, very magical, very well themed. And Disney's first immersive land. Main Street USA was really Disneyland's first immersive land. But then New Orleans Square came later. The other lands are more pastiche of things that allow them to pop in anything with a generally similar theme. So anything adventurous can go into Adventureland, etc. But New Orleans Square here has to be in New Orleans, which is why they have Pirates and Haunted Mansion, both fit the theme, and then all of the rest is shops and restaurants. Tiana's Palace seems to be scratching an itch here. Very New Orleans, very authentic New Orleans food, maybe even too much so, very spicy. Look at the beautiful new light fixtures that they have here, and the extended patio, so this wall is new. The wall used to be underneath the metal canopy there. But this line is all people waiting for the standby because the mobile order fills up right away in the morning. You see the popcorn lighting for Tiana's Palace sign there through the trees. And then this area over here also set for big transformation. When Haunted Mansion closes after Haunted Mansion Holiday ends its run in early January, everything you see here, Magnolia Gardens, which is used as overflow queuing for Haunted Mansion, sometimes even for the popcorn cart, this entire patio, and then this wall here will all be redone. There'll be some new queuing for Haunted Mansion that'll be on the far end, and then this side over here will be additional seating for Tiana's. And at some point in there, they'll have a pathway that's just open enough that people can get to and from the New Orleans Square train station. Big project. We're gonna have this all torn up. Hopefully, they're not having the same people that worked on Epcot's center area doing our redo of New Orleans Square over here. They got rid of the Fountain of Nations and then just let it sit that way for 2 or 3 years while they tried to figure out what they were going to do. They were going to put in a beautiful building for the festivals, and then they decided not to spend the money, and then they just left the center of their park behind construction walls for 3 or 4 years. Could have built a couple of theme parks in that length of time. Seems to be a long wait for Mansion, but the reader board is down, so I can't tell you how long. And then look at this. This is what happens when you have long lines overflowing and why they need to redo the Mansion queue. So if all of this was one contiguous switchback, they could get more of these people out of the walkway. This rope with all the people standing there, that is for Lightning Lane. Of course, because it is Haunted Mansion Holiday, very popular. We're going to see how long that line is. Look, we're shuffling now. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Bum, 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 bum. One thing they did do in recent years was add all this additional seating over here along where the Mark Twain is under refurbishment. They call that Pelican Point. It used to be very little seating over here, but they added a whole bunch. Harbor Galley, which allows them to make more money because if people walk by and they see all of these crowds and know where to sit, they're less likely to buy something, but all of those tables back there make that easier. Mark Twain, regular refurbishment. It's insane how quickly that ship gets dry rot. They're refurbishing that ship every year now. Ancient ship, built up at the studios in Burbank before the park opened. It's actually a studio project. And here we are at Splash Mountain. Lots of things happening as always. Their top of the mountain has been shaved off. They've got a little bit of plastic wrap up there. Some Reynolds wrap to help keep it fresh. Big changes ahead. I am looking forward to Tiana's. I had a really great talk with somebody working on the project the other day who is excited about it. Didn't want to give away too much to me other than to say that the bayou, which is the majority of the interior of the attraction, is absolutely stunning with lots of special effects and foliage and densely packed. Much bigger budget for the set decoration on this one than they originally had when they did Splash Mountain, so it should look quite different inside, even though it's the same layout, same boats. Queenie getting ready to come out and do her set for the night, so she sings a bunch of New Orleans style songs on the river. Love Queenie. I'm not taking you down into Critter Country. There's so little new to see on Splash Mountain. Well, I've got the song It's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow trapped in my head, but I've just been thinking nonstop about where they're going to spend that $60 billion. We do think they're going to get a second park in Hong Kong. Perhaps start working on a second park for Shanghai, but that resort was opened half-baked, so there's room for more lands, many more lands in Shanghai Disneyland before they build their second park. Disneyland Paris was originally supposed to be like a Walt Disney World with multiple theme parks, not just two, but 3 or 4 theme parks and lots of additional hotels and a larger shopping area. And it's quite possible they'll finally be able to fix that resort, maybe give them a third theme park. Definitely help fix the Studios Park, which is just an eyesore. They've added a lot to it to help make it more fun, but it's just a mishmash of things. They're adding a Frozen land there. They were supposed to get a Star Wars land, but it's not going to happen. At least not yet. But I do love Disneyland Paris. Sadly, one of our local correspondents in Paris wrote an article for us recently about what terrible shape the original Disneyland Paris park is in. A lot of buildings that are just falling apart. They're throwing netting over the rooftops to keep shingles and ornamentation from falling and hitting guests. You can imagine, you know, things get bad at Disneyland from time to time, but rarely do things fall off the buildings because they're so poorly maintained. See no one in queue for Rise of the Resistance, even though earlier we saw an hour-long wait. And that could be that it's down, or it could be. There's so many people going into the Lightning Lane that they're just holding the few people in the caves long enough that it's still an hour wait. And that appears to be what the case is, because very few people in line, very few in the standby line, and yet it's an hour-long wait. Fly me to the moon and let me drift amongst the stars. That is just my X-Wing. Love it. Not crazy about this land because there's so little of the things that I love about Star Wars in it, but seeing the X-Wing, TIE fighters, it's pretty cool to me, and seeing the light speeder like Luke would have had, also super duper cool. I enjoy seeing Rey and Kylo Ren. Just wish that we were seeing more of R2-D2 and C-3PO and Han Solo and Lando Calrissian. I do have faith that eventually, as some of the current senior Imagineers start getting shuffled around, that we might see some changes. It does look like they're setting Josh tomorrow up to potentially become CEO of the company. At the very least, making him look like a power broker in the park. So if the company kind of merges or sells off its studios division, as could very well happen with Apple or another player, that Josh is strong enough to run what's left of the Disney company, which would be parks, resorts, experience, cruise lines, merchandise, licensing, all of that. And he's doing that now. So he would be the right CEO to take over the company if that's all Disney still owns. But if Disney still has streaming and television and movies and animation, not Josh's forte. Currently, that's half the company. Once they're done with this $60 billion investment, though, parks will double, and then parks will be 2/3 of the company's business. Think about that. They're minimizing the impact of potentially problematic productions and selling ABC or ESPN or the whole entire division. Interesting. Food for thought. But whenever I say this, people always say, oh, it'll never happen. Very, very senior people in the company that are talking about this to each other and with me, saying it could absolutely happen. They don't know whether it's happening or not. That kind of information is not being shared, but everybody's talking about it. A lot of people would like to see it happen because the movies recently have not done all that well. But if Disney movies were continuing to be made, but under the financial wealth of an Apple, and Disney Park still had the licensing deal to, of course, make theme park attractions and things based on new Disney animation music films. That was loud.
Yeah! Hey, welcome down.
You can see how it all work out. The other way around is, what if parks get spun off or sold to another company? There are groups that own lots of theme parks like Legoland and SeaWorld, etc. that would love to own Disney parks. We would not like to see that happen. Those kind of companies tend to spend less on theming and things like that. They do like to build roller coasters to get you coming back, but not necessarily theme them out so well that they last generations. Long line for Oga's Cantina. Don't like have to wait for Oga's. You need a reservation to get in, and then if you get there because your reservation time has arrived, and then they make you wait in this long line. It just goes to show you they don't have enough cantina space. Perhaps some of that $60 billion could be used for building a second cantina, or even better, the dinner show restaurant that was always planned to be in the land and got cut at the last minute by Bob Cheapskate cut that project, along with a lot of other things for this land. So I do hope, now that Cheapskate is gone, that Josh tomorrow gets the cojones to sort of look back at many of the things that were promised for this land that never happened. Look at all the dead space in here. Everything in this building over here, other than the milk stand, all the way back there is empty. There's empty space right over here. This whole building leading up to Oga's is empty. There's room on the other side of the land as well. And they could easily build the dinner theater restaurant that they had planned. Potentially even that third attraction that they like to build. There's also a sort of a people mover-esque type of an attraction that they could build above the land. And would like to see those droids roaming around. They have wires under all of the concrete in the land to allow the droids to know where they are. They started building the droids and then gave up on that project. Many of the droids were in fact built. It's just a budget cutting thing. It would make that land sort of irresistible.
You already knew where this was going, huh? The ship, we hit the ship before we ran out of orbit. Kind of forget that. I was like, okay. You knew exactly where this was headed, huh? Yeah.
We have just a few more minutes here in our live. I'm going to get us over by the parade route, and we're going to head into Toontown because there's a lot of weirdness going on in Toontown. Unfortunately, that brand new land has big, giant problems. And I want to show you all. So if you don't mind, I think it's going to take me just about enough time just to walk back there as we have left on this video. But if you all don't mind staying on about an extra 10 minutes, I'm going to show you the Toontown troubles. Oh no, Willie! Toontown troubles! Brenda, I know you were asking about Nathan. Nathan is off at school, so he's in opera school, graduate program. He was just singing in a small concert today. He sent me a little video of himself singing. He's amazing. So we're really not going to be seeing Nathan on these videos unless his classes get canceled for the day. Because he's down in San Diego school. On a Friday, traffic to get from San Diego to Anaheim can be 2.5 hours, sometimes more, sometimes 3 hours. Yesterday, it took me an hour just to get to Knott's Berry Farm. The traffic was so bad it wasn't moving. Waze took me off the freeway at one point to take side streets, and that was even worse. Flying elephants.
Attention Delta pilots, for your safety, please make sure you remain seated facing forward to the relation on your side.
For those of you who joined mid-video, when we're done in a little bit, make sure that you start from the beginning. So the videos will become live. It just takes a couple of minutes for them to process, and then you can watch them from the very beginning. We started off in downtown Disney. We talked to Eddie Shapiro and Jeffrey the Disney Geek about Gay Days at Disneyland, which starts tonight and runs Saturday and Sunday here at Disneyland. Yesterday was also the start of Knott's Scary Farm. We were there for opening night, and we'll be back again tomorrow for Mice Chat Meetup. If you'd like to join us, just buy a regular ticket without front of line. We're going to explore together, do the 3 new mazes, a couple of the shows. If we have extra time, we're going to wander the scare zones, maybe do the mine ride. Both the mine ride and the log ride are rethemed. They get a little Halloween overlay. If you'd like to come join us for that, we would love to have you join us tomorrow. Meet us at the Starbucks there at 6 o'clock, just outside the patio. And then by 6:15, we'll get in line at the front gate and head on in as soon as they let us in. We'll see the neat Halloween balloons. There's a Nightmare Before Christmas one on the right, and then we have some ghosts in a pumpkin. The next big thing that's happening is on Sunday. We're doing a Mice Chat Meetup. We do them once a quarter, so we're only doing 4 a year now. Used to do them every Sunday, but with park reservations and the price of a ticket, it just doesn't make sense to do them every week anymore. So we're doing them once a quarter so people have time to plan. And the next one is this Sunday at noon at the Walt and Mickey statue at Disneyland here. We'll meet and chat for about half an hour, and then we'll have lunch, and then we'll ride a couple of rides, and then I disappear and go write the Monday update. which I've already started working on, but there's no way for me to get it done too far in advance this week because I also have the Not Scary Farm meetup tomorrow. Then next week, I have a Disney Ambassadors press event where we're going to find out who the new ambassadors are. And then the next day, the opening of the Disneyland Hotel Tower. And I'll be there and be able to bring you some information live. Then at the end of October, I'm doing an event with Garner Holt Productions, their annual gala. It's all about the Haunted Mansion this year. Did you know that Garner Holt Productions helped build Haunted Mansion Holiday? Also the one in Tokyo. So it's about original Haunted Mansion and also Haunted Mansion Holiday. And our very special guest for the panel is Kim Irvine. Kim's mother was Madame Leota. Her father was Dick Irvine. They helped build Disneyland. And then when they did Haunted Mansion Holiday, Kim Irvine became Madame Leota. As we walk into Toontown here, you can see construction walls. I have just enough time to tell you about the final event that we're going to do just right after the Garner Holt event. A couple weeks later, I'm doing an event with Chris Crump. The name Crump sounds familiar. That's because Chris's dad was the legendary Imagineer Rolly Crump. That event is going to be right down here near Disneyland at the Bowers Museum, and you'll be able to find all of that information on Mice Chat. If you're not following us, please make sure that your email address is in our newsletter list so you don't miss announcements like that. We started selling tickets for the Chris Crump event this morning. All of the VIP seats are already gone. So why are we seeing construction walls here in front of Centennial Park? This land just opened in March. They've had so much trouble with this area. Some problems with footing around the tree and people tripping. Also around the fountain. There are elements of the fountain that never started working. So when I was here the other day, I was able to peek over the fence a little bit. I could see that everything around the fountain has been ripped up and the bottom grates on the fountain have also been removed. All of the detailed ornamentation, like the clams and the fish and all that stuff, has all been removed. There's Donald and Daisy. Swarm of children nearly knocks me over. This is their land after all. Be prepared for that when you enter Toontown. Let's see if I can get you all a view of what's happening. There's a lot of work being done in this land. Aside from those fountains, there's another set of fountains that also are not working. And that's for Donald's Duck Pond. So we're here at Goofy's How to Play Yard. Donald's Duck Pond is over here to the right. And you see that green fence, that's all Donald's Duck Pond. It's zero depth splash pad for kids. Also, a lot of the things in this area have been removed. There used to be teeter-totters here, they're gone. There used to be 3 spinning flowers over here. 2 of the 3 are covered up by trash cans. This land is not held up. There's also a special effects thing over here that's missing on this pathway that has seen better days. There's a rock, but in that center area there, obviously that little tiny rock was not meant to be the focal point. There was a birdhouse there, and when you looked inside, you could see a little bird family. That didn't last much beyond the first couple of weeks. It never worked. The special effect didn't happen. Oh, we can get closer, folks, by going further away. Let's see. I'm a wily rabbit. Aha! Ho ho! Hee hee! They have repaved partially this area, so it shouldn't be closed too much longer. I'm going to zoom. So when I was here the other day, you can see the fountain is completely disassembled at the bottom there. So what usually looks like a grate and then there's lots of ornamentation on top, that's all gone, emptied out, gutted, so they can work on it. Some of the fountain equipment up above has also been removed. But this whole area around at the bottom was down to dirt. They've got new, lighter concrete in now. Actually, they're not done. See how high that manhole cover is? There's a good 2.5, 3 inches maybe of space, which would be a massive tripping hazard. So they're probably putting in that spongy material like they have in the park, kind of help water drain away. They have a lot of water that spills over from that fountain. So here I am again, which probably means that this video is coming to an end, and it is, but I really enjoyed our long journey today. We went all the way up and back in downtown Disney, through Disneyland. We looked at some of the Halloween items, the construction on the Adventureland treehouse, saw the new Tiana's Palace, and the long, long lines of people waiting to eat there. Talked a little bit about some of the changes coming to Haunted Mansion. We saw Tiana's Bayou Adventure construction. We walked through Galaxy's Edge, the grand wasteland that could use some of the $60 billion that Disney plans to spend, which is enough to double the size of the Parks and Resorts division. In fact, $60 billion is enough to build 12 theme parks, folks. You could build 12 entire theme parks with $60 billion. Now, they're not going to just build theme parks. They are going to build some theme parks, but there's a lot of rides and other things and cruise ships, etc., that will be built. So expect this next 10 years of Disney to be absolutely out of this world, and I hope to be here to continue covering it for you. I appreciate you all so much. Have a fantastic weekend. Come see us at Knott's Berry Farm tomorrow or on Sunday at Disneyland at noon. I would love to see you there. And for sure, check out Monday's update. It's gonna be a blockbuster. I'll see you all again real soon. Bye-bye.